Becoming a mother is one of the most beautiful experiences in life. And at the same time, it can come with its challenges, especially around finances for women. And in today's video, I really want to address this topic openly, honestly, from my experience, from the women I've worked with, on how you can take care of yourself as you're becoming a mother, how to set yourself up financially, and also how to take care of your future as well as your children's. Becoming a mother for me in 2020, when I gave birth to my son, was one of the biggest turning points of my life. I was already doing coaching work, especially around money and purpose, workshops and talks all around the world. But after I gave birth, I entered such a vulnerable space. I realized for the first time that we were not equal. In my mind, I'd always fought for equality. I wanted the same place. I remember just before giving birth, I had a sign off from a doctor so I could go to the World Economic Forum to rally and give talks. I was almost 8 months pregnant at the time. And after giving birth, I realized I was not the same as my partner. I was one breastfeeding. I was one giving birth. I entered 2 weeks of so much vulnerability because I wasn't able to do the same things that I was able to do before. And I had the child, my son, which was so special. But this awakening moment showed me that we are not equal. And at this pivotal moment, after the birth of my son, I dedicated a lot of my work and I shifted it towards supporting women. When I gave birth to him, I realized the most heartbreaking situation for me would be to leave my son doing a job I didn't want to do from 9 to 5 to feed my family that wasn't aligned with who I was. To leave your child to do this or to make money that's just enough to cover childcare. It was so hard to imagine that women had to do things they didn't want to do to leave their children. And on the other flip side, so many women I met along the journey who'd lost themselves in motherhood, their self-esteem, not having worked in the workforce and trying to find their way back. I don't want to now debate about how our current society treats mothers, what paternal leave is given in different countries. I understand these are many different topics, very heated, and I have my own opinions about this, but this is not about that right now. What I want to talk about here is really how you as a woman can empower yourself, get yourself ready for this moment, and really step into this empowerment. Firstly, women I've started working with who are younger, in their 20s and their early 30s, have started setting up future female funds where they're putting money aside, where they can take time out in the future to raise their kids, where they don't have to be financially dependent, where they can almost give themselves that moment of freedom, of choice. Of course, the current system supports that with maternity leave, different in different countries, but really offering that to yourself. Another important fact is that after you have children, what is your financial situation? Having that discussion with your partner beforehand. If you're going to take time out, what career breaks will look like, who's going to be the sole breadwinner, what the finances will look like, who's contributing to this. These are all topics that get unearthed once you have a child. And I've seen so many couples that I've worked with and women really struggling with this. And I think it's something to address, to look at. Can you take time out and rest and relax with your child? Or is there financial pressure to look at? Also, after that, who's going to be the breadwinner in the family? Do you have to go back to work? What kind of work do you want to do? Becoming a mother is so life-changing that you don't even know who you're going to be coming out of the other side of it. I didn't know who I would be, and my partner definitely didn't think I would be who I was. I was traveling around, working like crazy, not stopping. And after I had my son, I didn't want to leave home. That's when I shifted my work online, working with women. I wanted to be present. It was a surprise for him. It was a surprise for me. But I just want to say that you don't know what kind of mother you're going to become after that. And at the same time, entering the cycle, it's really important to set yourself up, I also feel, for financial success as a mother, as a woman. If you are going to be a stay-at-home mom, make sure that your financial situation is going to support you no matter what happens. Of course, we don't want to think of the worst case scenario. We hope for the best. But I have met so many women who've stayed in marriages and relationships for financial reasons because they haven't had a job. They've not been working for a long time. They've tolerated things that I don't believe they wanted to tolerate. They've pushed things under the carpet for their children, for their family, and sometimes in hardest situations have really hit the ground and had to stand up running because they couldn't deal with it anymore and really had to pull their lives together. We are resilient. Women make it time and time again, but it doesn't have to be that hard. You don't have to hit the ground. There are ways to take care of your future, which is looking at investing into different investments every month, investing for your future, investing for your children's future, taking care of yourself, knowing that you have an emergency fund or money set aside in case you want to do a life shift or a different situational change for you. If you want to take time out or other things, or want to, completely move countries or take care of your kids for a while, or maybe do want to separate from your relationship. I think it's also important to see as a woman how you are spending your money at home with your family. Oftentimes when I'm coaching women, it very much looks like the man is paying for the assets and the home and the woman is paying for the household. But I have the saying that what are you going to end up with? Yogurt pots, because you're paying for the food and the care of the house, and your husband is taking the assets. Of course, if it's split under your two names, great, but make sure that you're aware of these situations. A lot of women don't want to deal with the finances in the family, in the marriage situation, and prefer to push it to the husband, saying, he'll deal with it, I don't mind, I'm just going to take care of this. That is fine to a certain level, but I would really encourage you to look at your financial situation, to take charge of it, to maybe sit down with your partner, do your accounts. I've sent so many women spreadsheets to do the family accounting, to really get on the same page with your partners, to have conversations around it. What are the family expenses? What is needed for the family? It's really important because oftentimes I hear women also saying they don't have enough money, the husbands don't understand. Put it on paper. Show them what the reality is. For me, this is key and that's super important. Another fact that happened a couple of years ago is that in 1 week, I think it was 3 or 4 women at the same time contacted me. They were all separating, the husbands in different situations, but basically one of them, she had given up her job in London, followed the husband to Switzerland, raised the children, and now they were separating and she only had the childcare money as long as the kids were at home. She hadn't taken care of her financial future nor worked in 14 years. Another lady, very similar. She moved from Berlin. She was taking care of her kids. They separated and he handed his divorce papers in Portugal before she handed them in Germany. So the whole divorce system was taken into account through Portuguese law, not through the German law, where she would have gotten more childcare support, half of the assets, and very different things. Her situation is incredibly tough. She has to leave her kids every week to go work in Germany to come back and see them. I know for me, it was heartbreaking to hear these stories and heartbreaking to see that women today can still end up in situations like this. I'm not saying this is your reality. I'm just giving you examples of people I've worked with, of women. Yes, they're making it, but they've really had to learn the lesson by facing it on this way. And the hard way, I would almost say, or facing it straight on and saying, okay, now I have to fight for it. I have to fight for my kids. I have to, get back on my feet. So what I'm always saying to women is prepare. Yes, you want to have children. It's beautiful. And at the same time, I'm encouraging you to set yourself up financially. If that's before having children, such as setting up a fund. If that's during the time of having children, such as putting investments aside. If you continue to work, taking care of your financial reality, your future, and even after having children in the family situations, if you are looking at separation, setting yourself up, understanding what are your rights, where do you stand, what marital system are you in or not, what does that look like, and how are you using your money in your family context. There are many different ways your income and your partner's income can be allocated and distributed. I've helped women in many different contexts to paying according to how much income they have, proportionally, each being able to put money aside for their lives in the future. There's so many different ways. Sometimes we're stuck in one model, not seeing another outcome. But trust me, situations happen, women face it. There's so many different paths to walk when you come onto this road of motherhood. But the one thing I really want to encourage here is not to ignore your finances as a woman, not to put your head in the sand and bury it, but to face it front on, to make a decision saying, I want to have kids. What does that look like? Let me make that reality comfortable for me and the choices I'm going to make moving into the future. I hope this inspires you as a mother. It's been a big step for me of taking care of my financial reality, of really my life, my son's life, our careers, what that looks like in a family context, having these conversations, know that you're not alone. There's many others out there willing to help, willing to open up, and know there's many different paths to walk when it comes to this. If you are interested, I have a solopreneur's guide that you can download, many other resources as well to really help you on your path towards understanding your finances, building up a new financial reality, and also really connecting to the gifts that you want to put into the world. Because I feel like when you're a mom, the one big thing that you want to be doing is doing work that's aligned with you, because you know that you're doing something really important when you're not with your kids. And I feel like this. The time I'm with my son, I'm so present. I love being with him. And the time that I'm working and with my clients and doing this work around money, it feels like such an important drive for me as my purpose in the world that I don't feel this guilt of working versus being with my son. And I wish that all of us could find this space where we are fully in alignment, not doing work just for money to leave our kids, but can be putting our gifts into the world as women and be making the money that we need to make for our reality, for our family's reality, and for our lives. Thank you so much for being here with me. I hope this inspires you in some way as a mom. I hope it touches some chord. It allows you to walk your path in motherhood fully and also embracing your financial reality. Please download any resources below that might tickle your fancy. There's a few free guides as well. And if anyone else could watch this video that could inspire them, please feel free to share it. I look forward to sharing more of my journey with you.